Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about internet technologies. There are 3 points I'm going to focus on. They are internet technologies, distance learning, and e-learning. Talking about internet technologies, it's important to say that internet is a global network that connects computers around the world and allows them to exchange information from different parts of the world in different languages and in different formats. Due to the enormous amount of information available on the internet, search systems are becoming increasingly important, with the help of which users limit the range of searches for the information they need. Now, it's important to focus on some popular search engines like Google, Microsoft Bing, Yahoo, Baidu, Yandex, DuckDuckGo, Ask.com, EcoAsia, IOL.com, Internet Archive. The web is a section of the Internet that uses a special format called the Hypertext Markup Format, HTTP, that is used to convey information. Users access websites or web pages using web browsers such as Internet Explorer, Opera, Mozilla Firefox. In the text on web pages, some words and phrases highlighted or underlined. These are the so-called hyperlinks, special codes with which the user can go to other websites or to other sections of the same website. They can also perform operations such as printing a document, viewing or saving an image, and others. In addition to the browser, the computer must also have special software players installed that allows you to play audio and video materials. The most common of them, freely available on the internet, are considered Real One Player, Windows Media Player, QuickTime Player, and so on. The simplest application of the internet is to use it as a source of additional materials for the teacher and independent work of students in preparation for the lesson. The materials can be printed and then used in a traditional lesson. Of course, in this case, only part of the internet capabilities is used. But even with this application, learning a foreign language is changing. The user has access to information that is difficult to obtain from other sources. The possibilities of the internet are most fully revealed when using it directly in the student audience. The ideal conditions for such work are computer class with an internet connection. The use of the internet in class should not, however, be the end itself. In order to determine the place and role of the internet in teaching a foreign language, a teacher first of all must find clear answers to the questions: for whom, for what, when, to what extent internet technology should be used. Therefore, with all the pluses to the communication and information technology, most teachers, however, prefer to use the internet in combination with traditional teaching tools, integrating internet technology into the learning process. Today, the global internet provides a wide range of opportunities for students to enter into authentic intercultural interaction with representatives of the target language. The main currently existing in cyberspace technologies that can be actively used in the process of teaching a foreign language, translating them into the category of teaching education means, can be divided into 2 groups: synchronous communication tools, asynchronous communication tools. Communication using computer networks is a fundamentally new layer of social reality. Of course, communication on the internet, despite significant differences, carries a variety of interpersonal and group relationships. If the standard offline communication model includes source, message, recipient, and on its basis it is possible to classify ordinary means of communication between people. Then the Internet is so diverse that each link in the chain, source, manage, recipient, can vary widely. The source can be either an individual or a group of journalists, and the message can be both journalistic material and in the text of a message in the chat, and the recipient can be either one person or an audience of potentially millions of people. All this diversity can be divided into three groups. Asynchronous communication on a one-to-one basis, for example, by email. Synchronous communication, which can be built on the principle of one-to-one and one-to-many, organized around a specific topic, chats and messaging programs like Internet messengers, ICQs. The third group is asynchronous communication, characterized by the fact that the recipient needs to find a site to gain access to the necessary information, and which can be built on the principle of many-to-one, one-to-one, or one-to-many, websites, forums, blogs. Synchronous and asynchronous communication tools allow you to create an interactive communication on the web. Although these means of Internet communication appeared relatively recently in the world practice of teaching foreign language, a certain experience has already been accumulated in using them in the learning process. The undoubted advantage of using the electronic form of communication when teaching foreign language includes gaining experience of social interaction, following the order of communication, polite request, permission to interrupt the interlocutor's statement, which makes the communication experience more harmonious. The lack of nonverbal forms of communication inherent in this type of communication can lead to an increase in the level of spontaneity of speech and a more detailed representation of the interests of a minority of the audience. It's obvious that students can successfully overcome language difficulties by discussing the meaning of this or that concept with other native speakers of the target language in chat rooms. Synchronous exercises allow two or more communication participants to interact simultaneously from different computers, which take place in chats and quick mail, ICQs, or Messenger. These interactive communication exercises, usually listening and speaking, are performed in pairs or groups of users, each working from a different computer. The asynchronous interactive exercises involve two or more users, and they are optional in real time and involve writing messages or responding to email and participating in written discussions. In the process of informatization of education to improve its quality in recent years, much has been done to create the technological and material base of higher education. Computer equipment is purchased and the Internet is connected. Successful technological and technical support of the informatization of university actualized the problem of creating and introducing electronic content into the learning process of subjects not related to the study of informatics. To solve this problem, it's becoming increasingly important to develop their own electronic information and Internet resources for each discipline. The use of such resources in the learning process will allow students to receive expanded information on the subject studied, increase their educational potential, and provide the opportunity to receive continuous quality education. A successful solution to this problem would allow teachers to gain access to ready-made training modules and could be used in designing courses and adapting the available material to specific goals and objectives of teaching a foreign language. Let's talk about distance learning, which is one of the youngest and most promising forms of higher education. Every year, it becomes more and more popular. This form not only reduces training costs since the student does not need to personally attend classes, but also improves the quality of education through the use of the latest information technology and electronic libraries. Many experts believe that the distance learning is the future of the entire education system. So it's not surprising that more and more domestic and foreign universities have the opportunity to receive a diploma or improve their qualification remotely. According to experts from the American Association for Research in the Field of Education, American Education Research Association, by 2015, more than half of students in the United States will receive education remotely, that is, online. Distance learning is a set of information technologies that ensures the delivery of the bulk of the study material to the students. It's also an interactive interaction of trainers and teachers in the learning process. It's providing students with the opportunity to work independently and work under the guidance of a teacher to master the studied material in the learning process. Distance learning has been around for a long time. For the first time in 1946, this form of education was offered by the University of South Africa, in 1969 by the British Open University, and 1974 by Fernuniversität in Hagen in Germany. At the moment, these are the largest centers for education through the Internet. Let's turn to the social aspect of distance learning. In many countries, there are programs for obtaining not only higher but also general secondary education, in particular for children with disabilities and people with disabilities. For these people, distance education is panacea, since distance learning literally does not limit people's mobility, in which people can easily virtually cross national borders, work remotely, take part in the activities of transnational cooperation, and even travel. There are three types of distance technologies used in the learning process. Paper-based case technology, like teaching aids, which is used in combination with full-time education. Television satellite technology, that is the education television using video materials. Internet training. Most often distance learning uses all technology in different proportions. As a rule, students are sent education content like electronic and paper textbooks, video lecture courses, video seminars, educational programs, assignments for independent work in different media. The student receives a set of materials when enrolling in the class. In addition, students can keep in touch with the teacher tellers via the same email. They can also be tested in real time. Let's reveal the characteristic features of distance education. Its modularity changes the role of the teacher associated with the separation of functions of course developers, maybe tutors, and so on. The use of specialized technologies and teaching aids. Distance learning is a complex of educational services. It's supposed, therefore, for professional training and retraining using advanced information technologies, which involves broadcasting to the student mainly using electronic means of information delivery, carrying out checks at the workplace or at home. In other words, distance learning is a kind of institute on the couch for a person who is ready to comfortably use e-learning concepts. Modern students are basically the so-called network generation, for which an electronic way of receiving educational information is a normal part of life. We now live in a multiplex world of many voices and ideas connected by the Internet, and the use of web technologies is at the forefront of online learning. Today's students represent the first generation to grow up on new information and communication technologies. Throughout their adult lives, they have used computers, camcorders, players, video games, cell phones, and other tools of the digital age. Therefore, in the general, high technology in education are welcomed by students. Knowledge, skills, abilities acquired through them will be useful to them in self-improvement.